In the 1970s, and yes, I do hark back that far, it was quite difficult for ladies in business. There were basically only two ways to the top. One was through accountancy and the other was through what's now known as human resources. And I elected to train as a chartered accountant and make my way up that way. Accounting gives you a really good foundation when you're setting up your own business. It's so important to have a real grasp of the figures. It is a truism, I know, but no company ever went bust because of not making a profit. They went bust because they ran out of cash. And cash is king. And if you have a grasp on that and understanding of that, then that stands you in very good stead for the future. I've been in print now since the 1980s, and it is true, it's a very highly male-dominated industry, though pleasingly less so now than it was 40 years ago. When you're a lady in business, you simply have to be better than any man, and that's the long, tall, short and end of it. Everybody has to have tenacity, they have to have ability, and there is, to some extent, a degree of luck that comes into it. Recognising opportunity, so important. Looking outside the box, and more importantly than anything else, being flexible, adapting, and I think females are actually pretty good at doing that. We think laterally, we're very good at juggling more than one thing at one time. And I think that probably encapsulates what's good about being female. We're flexible. That's actually really difficult. If I tell you that I brought my daughter to work for the first time when she was 4 days old, then I think that probably encapsulates it particularly well. Yes, I was in a fortunate enough position to have some help at home in the early days, but yes, it is difficult. I did try when my daughter was young to take a day off a week, and I don't think I don't feel that I've lost out on anything that she's done. Certainly talking to her now when she's in her mid-20s, she will always cite me as a role model. Yes, she appreciates I had to work hard, but we also played hard, and I think that that's important too, that you may not get perhaps the balance at home on a one-to-one in terms of time that somebody who is not in such a committed job has, but if you compensate by making those times extra special that you do spend together and making sure that it is 100% concentrating on the children when you do so, I think that they don't then feel left out in any way, and I certainly don't feel that I lost out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so, no. I think most successful business leaders, not to be arrogant about it, but probably feel that we have done the right thing all along. I've never had an ego in wanting to put my head above the parapet and shout out to the world, look at me, I'm better than all the rest, and I think that is a really good stance to have. But in terms of doing things totally differently, no. We all make mistakes along the way, and we learn from our mistakes. And if we take them in a very positive light, and we do learn from them, and we do retain our flexibility, and then perhaps deviate slightly from the path, then that's a really